Danny, I have to. I got to let you know something, and I need to know how this makes you feel. Whenever I start typing your Twitter handle onto our pre-show tweet on my tweet deck, you are not the first Danny that pops up. You're the second. Oh. The first Danny that pops up is legendary comedic actor Danny DeVito. So how does this make you feel?
I mean, I'm taller
by a lot.
I might have a little more hair than him yet, so I don't know. I guess that's okay. Yeah, I could settle for that.
Can I put you on? Do you have a favorite Danny DeVito movie or whatever?
No.
Mine is Ruthless.
You know what? My mom used to love him and watched everything, but I never watched a whole lot of him. I know who he is, and now I know that he's one step ahead of me on your Twitter.
Okay, all right. Well, watch Taxi, and you'll get to see Andy Kaufman.
Taxi,
too.
I got
It's
you.
a great show. All right, let's
I'll
get
check
into
it
some
out.
of this football stuff here. Josh Oglesby, Solomon Wright, Vito Calvaruso, Andy Boykin, JT Towers, Darren Turner, Jermaine Hamilton Jordan, Ray Curry, Kendall Catalon, Nick Turner, Devin Bush, and I guess who's next, right? That's not what we're asking, but all of this, it's like, it feels like it, and I think Trey Biddy did a great job on Hawg Sports just covering all of this too. It's a full-time job right now to track the scholarship situation because you got to be under 85. So where are we right now?
Yeah, well, first of all, I agree with you. I think Trey had a really good breakdown yesterday or this morning, whenever he put that out. But right now, looks like they're at 81, okay? That does not include 4 super seniors or potential super seniors who have the chance to come back next year. And I'm not sure if that includes guys like Cade Renfro, the backup quarterback, who unfortunately just suffered a ACL during the bowl game preparation, and Nathan Perotti, who walked on senior day. I guess his status is still yet to be determined. So got quite a few of guys there that would, still put you over the 85 max. So if you added all of those up, I guess you would be at 88. So as you said there, who's next? They've still got some departures that need to happen. And I'm sure some of those will. I mean, you include some of the super seniors that we talked about. I don't know what to make of it, but I would lean toward a guy like Bumper Pool potentially coming back. I don't know that. Nobody's told me that, but I guess we'll find out. Who else is in that group? There's John Ridgeway, of course. I think people kind of expect him to go ahead and go. Shane Clennon could come back next year, but based on what we've heard, he may enter the not the transfer portal, but the job market. I think he's well equipped now and got his degree and should have plenty of success in finding a decent line of work out there. Shane's a good guy, so we'll be pulling for him. And then Joe Fouché, boy, after the game he had, I think that was a good reminder the other day that you probably need to get that one back. That could really solidify the back end of your defense, especially bringing Catalan back next year. So you need a few of those guys back, and probably going to expect to lose a couple more. So I'm with Coach Pittman to answer your question about it. I think they're going to have no problem in the end getting under that 85 cap, and it's just going to take time. Yesterday was a big step in that direction. Of course, it was a busy news day in terms of transfers out. And, of course, they've still got to have a little more room to bring some guys in, too. So you probably need to get a few spots under the 85 in order to make it all work out. But as they always say, the numbers seem to work themselves out, and I've yet to see that fail.
Well, and none of these are starters either. And,
that's right.
When you see starters going into the transfer portal, and I've seen plenty of starters across the country that are going into the transfer portal. That's when you might have a problem. Like one starter going in is a different thing. A bunch of them is where you got an issue, and that's what Sam Pittman has hit on. It's not like you're saying good riddance to these guys who weren't really starting or playing for you in a lot of cases, but it's not like it's a mass exodus of important players right now.
That's right. I would agree with that. In fact, I think if you were to hand any Razorback fan a roster right before the season and goes, hey, circle 8 to 10 guys that you would predict might get out of here at the end of the year, a lot of these guys probably would have been circled. And that's no disrespect to them, but, playing time and kind of the writing was on the wall for quite a few of them. Maybe you get here and you're just maybe not the player, not the stature that COVID was it was a very difficult year, right, in terms of evals. So you're going to have some of that where coaches couldn't go out on the road and verify heights and weights and all that. So some of these guys were really no surprise at all. And some of them, you had to get them here to find that out. But I'm with you, Phil. I'm not sure they've really been surprised by anybody just yet. And certainly I don't think they're, in a world of hurt so far over many of these guys getting out of here. And that, again, no disrespect to them. Wish them the best.
And Danny, you talked about trying to balance the numbers, getting to that 85. And now that we've gotten through the 2022 recruiting cycle, 2023 has begun. You're starting to have more visits, more active recruiting now that we've hit almost the offseason. Still two more bowl games to go, but for 99% of college football teams, you're done, ready to move on to the 2022 season. How hard is it to balance numbers or try to track what kind of scholarships, what your scholarship situation might be, a year down the line or 2 years down the line? Or has it become so hectic with transfer portal, coaches just don't even think about it and say, we'll worry about that when we get there?
Wing it. Yeah, it's a great question. I think Coach Pitt put it best. It's probably the most fun part of his job, but it's also the most stressful. I don't envy him, whoever has to make those decisions, because, a lot of it comes down to a tough conversation with a lot of these guys, I mean, you can't really push people out, but, there's a way you can go about it to explain, hey, this is where you're at, and it's probably not going to get much better for you in the next year or so. So why don't you start to take a look around? I'm sure a lot of that goes on, not at all just Arkansas, but across the country. You've got to be fluid in all situations. You've got to admit when you're wrong and you missed on guys and say, you know what, I think we can get better than this. And that's the bottom line, right? I mean, you get 85 spots, you want the best available. It's not personal. At this level, it is business, right? So I don't envy him for having to do that, but I'm sure it's really, really tough, especially nowadays with everything being so fluid. I mean, shoot, you may make a decision about a current player on Monday and then see one go into the portal on Tuesday that you think you might have a shot at, and now kind of changes what you said yesterday, Mm-hmm. So I'm sure a lot of that goes on too.
And like you said, it's going to continue to probably be a problem that Sam Pittman and his coaching staff is going to have because of just the momentum that they've got. The name Arkansas football in that program, especially coming off of the Penn State win in the Outback Bowl, the national spotlight that they had in September, being the college football darlings of the country. This going into this offseason, this is probably the most momentum since blank. And fill in the blank for me.
Yeah, I would say the double-digit back-to-back seasons of 10 and 11, That's as good as I can remember it anyway. So I'll give you a perfect example. You talked a lot about momentum there. I'm seeing so many kids, not so many, but definitely more kids now, Drew, that are telling me, hey, I think I'm going to take a trip to Arkansas in January, that I would have never expected. I had one yesterday. I'll give you a perfect example here. Isaiah Robinson is an offensive tackle. He's a 2023 kid out of Lamar High School down in Arlington, Texas. 4-star kid, rated 165th in the country. And I hit him up and, have you talked to Arkansas lately? Yes, we have. I'm trying to get up there on January 22nd. And he was fired up about it. So you get some of those. I do think, especially when you consider what they did against Texas schools this year, the state of Texas has probably been a little more receptive than it had been, probably even up there with what Chad Morris had going here now. So that's obviously a key area. I'm seeing a lot of, believe it or not, a lot of traction down in Alabama and Georgia over the last couple of weeks. So, they've got some staff ties there with Jimmy Smith, Scott Fountain, Coach Pitt obviously spent quite a few years there. So, it's across the board, but you hit the nail on the head there. They do have a lot of momentum, and now it's time to capitalize on it. We said it throughout the season. A good season doesn't always result in a great class immediately. So you go 9-4. That doesn't mean your class of 2022 is going to be stellar. But the 23 class is typically the next class is where you see benefits of having a good season prior. So they're in position to do it. You nailed it. They've got a lot of momentum, and now they've got to go out and try to capitalize on it. And based on the early visit list coming up for January 15th, 22nd, and 29th, I would say it's pretty impressive so far. You just hope those guys follow through and actually show up.
This has to be exactly the way that Sam Pittman dreamed up, like the perfect scenario, if you're going to get some momentum. And who else would know how to gather momentum and use it in recruiting than Sam Pittman? But you really couldn't imagine like a better scenario for what you've got here to continue recruiting well. So this weekend, January 15th, I know next weekend, who can you tell us that's coming in? And I mean, if they're coming in for a visit, man, then they're giving Arkansas a real look.
Yeah, and a few of these guys have already been here before. Caleb James is no stranger now. He visited last June, came to camp. He earned his offer. He left with an offer, came back in July, I want to say, for the cookout. I know he attended the Texas A&M game down in Arlington, came up one or two more times after that, and here you are looking it up, and at January 15th and 22nd, he's expected to be back in Arkansas again, and of course he announced over the weekend that he plans to make his college decision on the 18th. So, I mean, you could start to piece that together. It's starting to look pretty good there for Arkansas. Trey Wilson is a 4-star defensive lineman out of Garland, Texas. I forget his high school. Forgive me on that. But, again, 4-star. He just came up, I want to say, for either the Auburn game or the Mississippi State game. So he's been here. He's making a quick turnaround, coming back January 15th. Ashton Porter, another 4-star defensive lineman out of Texas. We keep saying that Texas, right? So there's a trend there. Troy Ford is a guy that this morning told me he's going to be up January 15th. He's a 4-star linebacker out of Georgia. So you can check out all these names on Hawg Sports. Most of it is behind the VIP curtain, of course, but we try to do that for our subscribers. But get on there and try it out. I think it costs you $1 for your first month right now, and you can check out all of the recruiting visit list that we've got coming up, as well as any updates after their visit. So it's starting to come together for that 23 cycle.
Yeah, that's what it says right there. $1 for the first month.
BetOnline has you covered for all the holiday season. More props, odds, and lines than ever before. BetOnline remains your #1 spot for all sports action. Head to our new updated desktop or mobile website to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus with the promo code BELIEVE to receive your bonus. That's BLEAV to receive your bonus. And it's not just football. BetOnline has pro and college hoops, NHL, boxing, UFC, even your favorite Vegas casino games. Don't wait to take advantage of all these amazing offers available for the 2021 season. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite sports.